Another guest?
Yeah, they want to see another guest, and the budget's low, but we got one.
Tough times.
They're tough times, boy.
Oh, but we got the book this time.
You got the most important thing.
That's for sure.
All right, guys, y'all got to be quiet for a minute. This is the most important thing of the whole night. Kira, you got to be quiet over there. Okay. There's a guest host, a guest co-host on the set tonight.
Oh, you mean guest host, not
Yeah.
the co-host.
Oh, that's right.
Unless this is Jake Manning TV.
I love that. Okay, well, I can't see a thing. Bullet, what the heck? Okay. Well, I can't say Bullet either. Does Mr. Florida call you Bullet? Yeah,
yeah.
Everybody calls
Mr.
you
Florida.
Everybody calls you Bullet. Okay.
Okay.
And Mr. Florida's a special guest, but we give the fans what they want.
Okay, this is gonna be very difficult for the introduction. I'm not gonna lie. I might need a second to think about how to do this.
I know, Bullet. You never know what you're gonna see. We gotta watch what we say. We get sued. Okay. Even though we didn't say nothing, what the heck?
It is a public forum.
Oh, it is, brother. Oh, I love that. I don't know what that means, but I love it.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. Special guest.
All right. Special guest.
What was it? Sharon Greg Allman. Oh, boy, I love that.
Sharon Greg Allman.
I got that.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Although if we wanted Greg Altman, we book Charlie Dreamer.
I love that.
He's a little more Greg Altman than the both of us put together.
That's exactly right. Well, that's very Charlie Dreamerish right there.
Yeah,
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah, this Sharon Greg Allman night. I love you, boy. You got that. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody says, who the heck's Greg Allman?
Yeah, exactly.
Still got a job, brother.
That's right,
Okay.
He does. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Dad, You Don't Work, You Wrestle. You know the claps. You know what time it is, but you're a little confused right now on who we have set. What is your name again, sir?
You know, Mr. Bullet, everyone, we love to do as the fans want. And this particular week, you know, we've had over the years, you and Mr. Number One, George South, who happens to be at probably the biggest book signing tonight that he's ever had. He's off selling some books, and he asked his special guest friend, Mr. Florida, to come up and co-host with Cher. So I will play the part of Greg Allman tonight, okay? Yes. We throwed Sonny to the side, and so I'm here as a special guest. Folks, I've only been in town here for a short time. I already know what George South means about Charlotte being full of goofs. But anyway, we'll touch on that a little bit, but I'm here, Bullet, to hang on and ride your coattails as Mr. Number One does each and every week. But I said, George South, what do we talk about? He said, Mr. Florida, it doesn't matter what you talk about as long as you talk about the book. So anyway, folks, there is a picture of me, Mr. Florida, in this book, folks. So if you haven't bought it yet, we encourage you to get a hold of this book. Mr. Number One, George South, wanted to just let his fans know that he will be back here in his seat next week. But you know, Bullet, our show is getting y'all's show, correct me there. This is very Jimmy Van and Charlie Brownish in the Bill Actor magazine. It's very much, Bullet.
Okay.
If the fans write in and request, we may have Mr. Florida and Mr. Number One on the set together, Bullet, as soon as we get a bigger set, which I don't know if that's going to happen.
No.
But anyway, Mr. Florida, it's glad to be here, Bullet. I'm just here riding your coattails, buddy. We're just here. Everything's going on. Had a great week.
You mean George had a great week?
George had a great week. I had a miserable week.
I'm sure you got the phone call from George. Like I get the phone calls late Saturday night. Are you okay? He vented everything that awful had happened over the weekend to you.
Yes.
So you can please relay what George said to you, Mr. Florida, about George.
I tell you what, after that conversation, he's a pretty miserable human being.
He is.
I'm just telling you that right now. I love everybody. Mr. Number One don't love nobody.
No.
I'm telling you. But I had to hang up on him twice, okay? He hates more people than we do. Folks, listen to me. All you folks up here in Charlotte, in the Mid-Atlantic area, you better love wrestling, because let me tell you, Florida stinks. You hear me? They ain't no wrestling in Florida either. I'm just telling you that right now. If you think the Outlaws are bad up here, wait till they get close to the beach water. They're horrifying, okay? But anyway, I guess that's just to stress, Bullet, that there is bad wrestling everywhere, I think. But anyway, I'm glad to be here, Bullet. As you know, we love to give the fans. We did get an email this week. Someone said, when are you going to have another co-host? Everybody knows here at Dad, You Don't Work, You Wrestle TV, highspots.com, the budget. We don't even have a budget, Bullet. We don't even have a budget. So times are tough, as it is with all of our great fans, but we adapt, and that's what Mr. Florida is doing here today. So I'm glad to be here, Bullet. I get to sit in on training tonight and see some of these guys here. Mr. Number One said, take some of them back with you if you want. I said, no. We got enough bad ones back home. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. The Bullet is the hottest. The book is the hottest selling thing in the world.
Well, I am the hottest selling.
You're the hottest selling thing. And my hat is off to you. My mask is off to you, Bullet, for just sitting through this with Mr. Number One each and every week. We're just glad to be here, Bullet. Of
course.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He did, before we go off the air here, he did
we're
tell
a long
me,
way from going off the air.
He did tell me
I
tonight.
don't know if you. I know you wrestle matches a little bit shorter. I know it's like the Continental Territory, where 30 minutes is a draw.
Oh,
For
I got
title
goosebumps
match.
when you said that.
But here you're in the NWA hotbed. It is an hour Broadway.
Oh, that's it. First match on the card, Broadway.
Exactly.
But before we finish here tonight, we will have our first. Mr. Number One done fill me in on it. We will have our first contestant that will actually be dedicated into our idiot bag, which we revealed last week. Mr. Number One said had a lot of feedback on that, a lot of requests for people wanting to send in their own idiot and goofs to us. But folks, listen to me. The grass cutter, the cable guy, and all them, they may qualify, but we got to get to know them first before we can throw them in here. But I do have, and I'll touch on that a little bit later, I do have in my, I got a pocket. I do have in my pocket, Bullet, the first name that will go into the idiot bag, okay? So things are just branching out here on Georgia South TV. It's getting big, Bullet. Let's do that now, Bullet.
Okay,
if you
let's
don't mind.
go to the idiot bag segment.
This is the idiot bag segment, Bullet. We got to get the graphics going, okay? There's the fancy graphics. You know, Bullet, listen, not only is Mr. Florida, but you know Mr. Number One, we're proud of what we've done in professional wrestling. Really, we have. I mean, you know this, Bullet. In your long career, just to stick around is an honor. I mean, just for people to still want to see you or you to still be booked and still be able to make the towns, that is something to be proud of. So I'm very proud of what I've done. I'm very proud of losing to the Ding Dongs. I'm very proud of just all the stuff that I have done.
Of Mr. Number
One. Oh, Mr. Number One losing. Well, that loss was felt all the way in Florida. That's what I meant.
I felt
Bullet.
it, and I might have been 6 when
Bullet felt it out back in the sandbox.
I did.
But that loss affected.
I fell on my shoulders immediately.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know what it is. I split.
Well, you know, that loss affected us back home in Florida, too. That's what I was getting at, Bullet. But, you know, one guy, and there's always one, he wrote this week, and Mr. Number One said, just leave it alone, Mr. Florida. And it's amazing how everybody in my family is Mr. But anyway, Mr. Number One said to Mr. Florida, he said, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. We'll touch base on him. We'll get him next week. I said, no, let's comment on it now. A guy wrote in, and someone had posted the famous video, of course, that everybody's seen of Mr. Number One and Gary Roll, the Gladiators, losing to the Monkeys.
Yes,
okay,
I saw that.
yeah. And I'm just glad that footage is still around, Bullet, believe it or not. One of the greatest angles in the world. One guy even wrote in and said, I want to see those West Coast tag team belts that the Gladiators were supposed to hold. I don't think they've ever seen them, Bullet. But anyway, so one guy writes in, and of course, I've got his name on the paper, given to me by Mr. Number One, and this guy is a complete idiot, Bullet. Not only did he just say, I liked the video, I remember that, it was a great time, it was funny, whatever. The guy wrote in and said, of course,
did he give us some stars?
No stars. Matter of fact, he took away somebody else's star, Bullet. Said it was the worst piece of TV that he had ever seen. Bullet, I can't believe he put this much thought into that. But he also thinking he could hurt Mr. Number One's feelings, which he can't because Mr. Number One ain't got any feelings. But anyway, so the gentleman, Mr. John White, Bullet, okay? I got last names.
First name and last name.
I'm telling you, folks, if you act like an idiot, we're gonna call you. We're gonna call you out because I'm leaving tonight to go back to Florida. Okay? So I don't care what I say here today. Mr. Number One will deal with it later.
No wonder why we have a masked man.
That's exactly right.
This.
And see, I just, he disguised his voice so nobody knows it's me.
So,
but anyway,
so
John White
was
wrote
that a screen
in
name?
that. No, I don't know. Well, no, because it wasn't that little gimmick thing before.
So are we making this name up?
No, this is him. This is John White.
Okay.
Because I actually wrote back to get his name.
Okay.
Oh yeah, boy.
And you told him he's going in the.
Oh yeah, I told him, brother.
Okay.
I think he's bragging about it.
Okay.
But Bullet, his comment was, of course, it was the worst piece of TV that he'd ever seen. I can't believe, Bullet, that he put that much thought into it. And the biggest thing was he said that, of course, neither one of those guys, meaning the Gladiators, ever won a match. He missed the whole point of that. The Mulkeys went on to be famous, Bullet. Nobody knows. I wish you could see the week later at the Jim Crockett Cup in Baltimore, the 2-day tournament up there, of course, where the Mulkeys were the hottest thing in the world during that weekend. Missed out on a lot of gimmick sales, of course, but I like to think that the Gladiators kind of catapulted him just a little bit. I know Mr. Number One was the one to get pinned in the middle of the ring, but I just think that's a special moment. You know, the Montreal screw job, you know, all of them are special moments, Bullet. You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely something unique and different.
And different.
And almost listening to the people, what the people were doing, because the people were putting the Mulkemania signs.
That's exactly right.
It was a real undercard nod.
That's exactly right. And you know, Bullet, now, it don't seem like if they tried to do that now that it would mean anything. But it was a special moment, I think. Not because Mr. Number One, my good friend, was part of that, but just for Mulkemania to run wild, and Gladiators helped with that just that little win on TBS. Of course, at that time, as you know, TBS was so strong. Everybody knew about the Mulkeys after that. The Mulkeys and Rock and Roll Express shortly after that sold out the main event there in Anderson, South Carolina.
Actually, Midnight Express.
Midnight Express, I'm sorry. Yeah. Midnight Express sold out the Anderson Rec Center right there in their hometown, sold the place out. Just an amazing time in pro wrestling. But anyway, Mr. John White, this is his real name. So you are our honorary idiot this week, okay? And just for your comment that was the worst part of wrestling history that he had ever seen, and I can't believe you put that much thought in it. So you will be our first idiot that will go into our idiot bag, Bullet, okay?
There you go. You are now in.
Very good. You are now in our idiot bag, Bullet. John, you are in it, and we're glad to do that. So just, you know, we love your comments, but folks, I'm going to tell you, you better think twice. We don't care what you say about us, but you got to listen, I can take anything, but you don't talk about the business itself, Bullet.
And you don't talk about Mr. Number One.
Oh, you don't talk about Mr. Number One. He let you, but Mr. Florida don't. Like I said, I'm getting on a Greyhound. I'm headed back to Florida as soon as we finish here, Bullet. But anyway, so we did all that.
Jet, just a Greyhound?
Just a Greyhound.
Man, business must be down in Florida.
Business is bad. They just told me to get here. They didn't worry about getting me back, Bullet. I don't know about that. But anyway, I gotta head home. Got all the grandbabies running around with Mr. Florida hoods on. Yeah. They're waiting on me, Bullet. So anyway, I know I get to leave, but I'm just thank you for letting me be here this week, Bullet. But we got a lot of stuff going on this week. I may stick over. Mr. Number One's got a big ring rental, as you know. Don't never have any help. You know, for any of the ring rentals, we're going to make an appearance right here in Charlotte, close to our hometown tomorrow night, Freedom Drive. Yep. It's all free, big time for the kids. Mr. Florida is going to make an appearance there. Yeah. I think Mr. Number One may be back to be there also. And of course, we finish out this weekend going up to Moxville, North Carolina, that big building. But Mr. Number One did want me to mention this. There's a few weeks away, September the 7th, his birthday on a Saturday. What better time to spend with Terry Funk? Right there on your birthday. I can't think of no better. Mr. Florida may just stay up here, Bullet. You got? Can I sleep somewhere, Bullet, on the porch somewhere?
I actually cleaned off my porch. So
I'll be right there. I'll be right there. I'll push dynamite. Can I push dynamite out of the way? Dynamite might get mad at me. I think.
He might.
But we got so
He's
much
still
going on.
raking my leaves right now.
We got so much going on, Bullet. Big $5 wrestling coming up pretty soon.
Yep, September the 8th.
September
$5
8th.
wrestling.
Right here. That's the day after my birthday.
Yes, it
Bullet.
is.
So me and Terry Funk's going to stretch you on a Saturday, and then Big Freight Train's going to finish you off on a Sunday.
Freight Train versus Big Donnie.
Oh, buddy. That may be the first time ever, I think, ain't it, Bullet?
Definitely Singles first time ever.
Oh, I love that. So I know, and Mr. Florida may be here for a while this coming week, Bullet. So anyway, everything's going on. I'm just glad to be here, Bullet. May get my own talk show down in Florida, Bullet. Believe it or not, if they'll let me back in the state when I get down there. But anyway, we're just glad to be here, Bullet. I got to think back, make sure we didn't mention nobody's name. I don't want no lawsuits and everything. So, but we did mention this guy. Because I told him up front that he was going to be an idiot.
He was in the stupid idiot bag.
Yeah, he's in a stupid idiot bag, and he agreed to it. So we're okay.
Okay, make sure you got confirmation of that, because this is a public forum.
Oh, I love that, boy. I just love the way that sounds. You know, it's like, here, I'll say whatever I want to about you. What are you going to do about it?
Well, no, that's not what it means, actually. So.
Oh, okay. Mr. Florida, shut up then. All right, I'm just glad to be here, Bullet. I know you're glad to be here.
Mr. Florida, attorney at law.
Although
you might need
I got a three-piece suit with a Miss Florida hood on in a courtroom. But listen, we're just glad. We thank everybody so much for this book, and the DVD, of course, comes with all the orders. Bullet.
Look at those graphics.
Yeah, I love those graphics, buddy. We'll get some of that down in Florida. But anyway, I just encourage everybody to stick in, folks.
Maybe at the Performance Center.
I love that, Bullet.
Okay.
May go back there and try and get a job.
Okay.
But anyway, Bullet, there ain't no mask men no more either. We can do a whole subject on that, Bullet. You know what? There ain't no mask men no more. You'll be over like $1,000,000 and take your mask off. I take up with that. But anyway, they ain't.
I'm sure Sami Zayn, you'll agree with that. You don't know who that is.
No,
That's okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
You an old timer?
Kind kind of.
Okay. All right, folks. We love all of you folks. We really do. We get ready to do some training here. Mr. Flyer is going to show them how to do it with a mask on, which is actually the exact same way that George South does it and his students do it, but just without a mask. But anyway, so headlock's a headlock bullet. You just got to have got a mask on or not. But anyway, okay. This is the greatest episode in the world right here. Cher and
Greg
Allman. Okay.
So
and Sonny and Cher will be back next week. But Greg Allman was glad to be here.
All right. Well, for Mr. Florida and for Mr. Number One, who's not here right now, this is Jake Manning, and just reminding you that George's book is available at highspots.com.